Hello and welcome to this yin class. This is a shorter class for being yin, but I'm really focusing on the kidney and bladder meridian, so short but effective and deep. Remember, in yin yoga, we want to go to our edge, we want to stay on our edge and observe what comes up from the depths as we're there. So we're going to start sitting on our feet. So you want to tuck your toes in and under and then place your bum on your heels and sit here. And you want to just check that your toes aren't crossing and that each of your 10 toes has space on the floor. You might want to do what I'm doing here and place one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower belly. So I want to share just quickly a short story about when I was in the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean. And when you fly in, you can see that around the island, the ocean is turquoise and beautiful. And then further out, it goes green. And then further out from that, it just goes really black. And there's a huge abyss there at the ocean floor. So the ocean looks black around the island. And we used to go out on jet skis and just hang out just on that edge where the water turns black. And we would hang out there, and sometimes the most insane creatures would come out. There was one that had that kind of light hanging from a dangly thing on its forehead and huge black scary teeth, for example. And I'm not saying that you've got a scary monster with a light on its forehead and black scary teeth inside, but I'm just saying that sometimes if we hang out on that edge, really interesting things come up to surface to let us know that they're there. And this is very much the intention of the yin practice, the intention of being open to receive the wisdom of your body. We've opened that meridian from the feet. Now we're going to transition into child's pose. So if you tuck your toes behind you and then slowly make your way down onto the floor. So you want to keep your knees together, and you can either rest your forehead straight on the floor, or if that's a reach for you, you might want to take a block or a little pillow and just place that underneath your forehead, and that way you have a little bit more support. And they say that child's pose is really great for adults because it's impossible to have a rigid ego when you're in child's pose. Being here in child's pose is also a really important posture for the body to help the body move inward. And this is very much the energy of winter and water, to go in, to rest, and to bring the attention from the external world inward, where we can recover, restore, and accumulate energy. Winter is a good time to get clarity on our goals, our dreams, and our life purpose. Winter is a great time to identify the seeds that we want to plant when the ground gets soft again in spring. Maybe here in child's pose you feel like a seed yourself. And I want to share a quote by John Donahue. It says, "In the heart of winter, spring is secretly at work. The beauty of nature insists on taking its time. Everything is prepared. Nothing is rushed. The rhythm of emergence is a gradual, slow beat, always inching its way forward. Changes in nature arrive when time has ripened." It's so beautiful. So take your time, open, and go in, deeper in. And I'm going to get you to start to come up. We're going to transition now into frog pose. So if you come up onto your hands and your knees, you'll want to maybe turn sideways on your mat so that you can have your legs really far apart. And you want to make sure that your toes are pointing out to the side, so your feet are splayed outward. Keep your knees as wide as you can, and then lower yourself down, and then push your butt backward, and you're going to feel it inside your groin, kind of like a strong pulling perhaps. And this is again where the practice of yin really matters. So to stay soft and open to what comes up for you here. When we stay longer in these yin shapes, working on these meridians, we create space. Space to help us recognize our own reactive thinking patterns. Space to let them be. And space to investigate them from a place of loving kindness and self-compassion. I know that I have felt very triggered by yin classes. There's always that one pose when I'm like, oh, come on. And then the teacher says 5 more breaths, and I count 5 and we're still there, and I get frustrated and ugh. And that's perfect, because it really shows me what is being held in that body part that I'm working, or that energetic area or placement in my body. So whatever comes up for you, I invite you to extend love to it, to yourself. And we're going to start to slowly make our way. This time we're moving slowly up and over to sphinx pose. So for sphinx pose, I'm going to get you to lay down flat on your belly. And as you get flat on your belly, you want to keep your forearms in front of you on the floor. And you want to just make sure that your elbows are right below your shoulders, and that your wrists and your hands are right in front of your elbows, so that you're really aligned with yourself. Press your elbows down, roll your shoulders in and back, lift your heart, suck your belly in a little bit so you don't let your belly hang into the floor. Tuck your tailbone in and under, and stay here. This is sphinx pose, and you know the sphinx is the guardian of the temple of secrets, and in order to pass through the sphinx, you have to know the answer to the sphinx riddle. And as you're here and you're breathing here, I invite you to see your thoughts and your emotions as waves in the ocean of consciousness. And it helps to get out of the circle of repetitive thinking and reconnect to peace. There's a thought or an idea in yoga, which is that when we do forward folding, when we bend forward, we engage with humility. And when we back bend, we engage with courage and fearlessness. So a person who is already very humble but lacks courage might not want to do too much forward folding, and instead would do better to do what we're doing here, which is back bending. And a person who lacks humility would be well to practice forward folding. And I was thinking to myself, could it be that a person is too courageous? But I don't think so. I think that's probably when it starts to be known as stupidity. So from here, see if you slowly make your way out and then lay down on your back and hug your knees into your chest. Take your time to get here. There's no rush. Give yourself a hug. You know, when was the last time that you hugged yourself? If there's anything that your inner child needs to hear right now, then this is an invitation to do that. And then slowly transition into happy baby. In happy baby, you want to open up your knees wider than your body. You want to grab hold of your feet in a position that feels comfortable. You can hold onto your heels, the outsides of your feet. You can hold onto your big toes. And just let your arms guide your knees towards the floor. Don't pull. Don't lift your lower back. Try to keep your entire back flat on the floor and allow yourself to open. For some reason we get so afraid of darkness, but we need darkness because it's in darkness that we dream. And sometimes the greatest gift that we can possibly give ourselves is to trust in what we don't know and see where the not knowing can take us. Give yourself another minute here in happy baby. This is our last active yin pose before we transition into shavasana. And it's time to release happy baby and turn into shavasana. So take your time. If you want to get a blanket, or what I'm going to do, which is put a little pillow underneath my lower back. You might want to put a pillow under your knees. Whatever feels like the right and most supportive way for you to engage with shavasana, please do that. And then once you find your body laying on the floor, allow yourself to completely surrender for the next few moments. This poem is called Fear by Khalil Gibran. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she's traveled, from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there's no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then the fear will disappear, because that's where the river will know. It's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. And I just feel that great poems deserve to be read twice. So here I go. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she's traveled, from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there's no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear, because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. now, if you're ready, and it's totally fine if you're not and you want to stay here longer, but if you're ready, start deepening your breath. Bring your breath all the way down into your feet. Get some movement into your toes. Bring the breath into your arms, down into your hands. Start to move your fingers. Wiggle and stretch. Do whatever your body's asking you to do to slowly make your way back, fully embodied into yourself. Welcome back. Take your time. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste.